Welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video we are going to discuss about the matrices in R. To understand this concept more clearly, let's go to the smartboard and try to understand the basic concept of matrices. Before moving forward, let's first understand the concept of matrix in R. Matrix is a two-dimensional data structure in R which contain elements of the same data type, that is numeric, character or boolean. So let's understand this concept here. Matrix can be in the form of these bracket, that means small bracket or maybe in the square bracket. This concept you must have studied in your senior secondary classes. Matrix elements are written like this way: A, B, C, D, E, F, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When we look at the matrix from the horizontal side, that means from this way, this is known as rows. And this is your first row, this is the second row. And when we see the matrix vertically, then it means this is the column 1, column 2 and column 3. Or I can write it down here. This is the C1, this is the C2 and this is C3. Similarly here we have 3 rows. This is R1, this is R2 and this is row 3. And this is your column 1, column 2 and column 3. Column 1, column 2 and column 3. So this is the basic structure of matrix, and it is very important when you are working on R programming. You should be aware what is the order of the matrix. That means how many rows and columns you are going to make. That in this particular case, if we see, there are 2 rows, number of rows are 2 and number of columns are 3 here. So the order of this particular matrix, let us say this is matrix A, then the order of this particular matrix is 2 by 3 here. And in this particular case, the number of rows are 3 and number of columns are also 3. So in this particular case, let us say this is a B matrix. So B is having order 3 by 3. That means number of rows and number of columns are very important before moving forward and to handle any matrix problem in R programming. Now let's move forward towards our R studio to understand it more thoroughly. Let's understand how to create a matrix by using matrix function. We have to use the matrix function to create any matrix here. So let's understand the syntax of this. Matrix syntax will be like this. First you have to define your data. After that you have to define number of rows, which will be written as like n row, then comma, then number of columns you have to define as we have discussed, n col. After that you can write by row, which will be a boolean input. So this is the proper syntax of creating a matrix. So let's understand how to create a matrix by filling some data in it. Let's create a matrix and give it a name, matrix underscore example. Now write the function matrix. What data you have to put here? Let us say we are using a number series from 1 to 9, comma, then how many rows we are going to use here. Since there are 9 elements, then we can make a lot of different combination of matrices here, like 3 into 3 is also 9. Also we can create 1 into 9, 9 into 1, like that. So let's assume we are creating 3 rows and 3 columns of matrix here. Therefore n row will be 3 and n col will be also 3 here. Now Let's create this matrix by using control plus enter function here. Now we can see in the global environment it is showing a matrix where we have 1 2 3 4 up to 9 elements. We can see the result here in the console as well, where it is showing a 3 by 3 matrix in which first row there are 3 elements, which is 1 4 7. In the second row we are having 2 5 8, and in the third row we are having 3 6 9. So in this way we can create a matrix. Now let's create a matrix using vector. Creating matrix using vector. Let's create a vector first. Vector (12, 10, 15). We have one vector with the number of elements 6. Now with the help of this vector, let's understand how to create a matrix here. Let's write a matrix name matrix underscore from vector. Now what we have to write here first, we have to write matrix here first. Then we have to input the data. Now in this case data is our vector. So write vector, comma. Here we have 6 elements, so we can create a different combination like 2 by 3 or 3 by 2. Let's create a 2 by 3. That means number of rows should be 2 here, and number of columns will be 3 here. Always remember that the number of elements should be equal to the product of the number of rows and number of columns. Now let's use control plus enter here. Now we can see that it has created a matrix from vector. That means a matrix which we have created with the help of a vector here. It is showing in the global environment. We can check this in the console as well. Let's write matrix underscore from vector and then press enter. Here we can see that we are having a matrix with 2 rows and 3 columns. Now let's understand how to access elements. Accessing elements in a matrix. As we have previously created a matrix by the name of matrix underscore example, we are using the same example here. Let's say we would like to access the second row and third column element. Then we have to write the name of the matrix first, matrix underscore example. Now use the square bracket. In this square bracket, the first element you have to write is the position of the row. That means which row you are planning to access. Let's say we are planning to access the second row, and put comma here. After that you have to use the number of column which you would like to access. Let us say we are trying to access the third column. That means we are trying to access the second row and third column. If we see in the console panel here, our second row is this one and the third column is this. So logically we are trying to access the element 8 here. So let's see whether it is accessing the element 8 or not. Let's print here. Here in the console panel we can see that it is showing the output 8. In this manner we can access any element of a matrix. Let's access another element from the matrix from a vector example. Let's print matrix underscore example. Now let's try to access the second row and third element, which is 26 number. So second row and third element, or we can take another example. Let us say we would like to access the first row and third element, which is 25. So first row and third element, let's try to print it out. So here 7 is showing here. Now let's understand with the help of another example here, as we have created another matrix by the name of matrix from vector. So let's try to access its elements. Matrix from vector. Now let's try to access the first row and third element in this particular example. Let's put a square bracket, first row and third element. Here we can see our first row and third element is 25. So let's see whether it is printing or not. Print Now you can see in the console that it is showing 25 here. So in this manner we can say that we can easily access any element in a matrix by using the square bracket and the name of the vector. We can also access the entire row or entire column with the help of this function. Let's try it out. You have to print, then let's say we would like to access the first row of our matrix from vector. Matrix from vector. In this case you have to write only number 1, as we are trying to access the first row, and the column section, your column part, you have to keep it blank. Now let's try to access it. Print. Now we can see that it is accessing the first row, which is 12, 15 and 25. Similar manner we can also access the column here. Let's say print matrix underscore from vector. In this particular case you have to keep blank the first case or the first space. After that you can put a comma here. After that you have to give the column name or column position. Let's try to access the second column here. Now let's try to print it out. It is showing 15 and 20. In this case we can see that the second column elements are 15 and 20 here. So in this manner we can easily access any row or column in any particular matrix. Now let's understand how to modify any element in a matrix. Let's first write down the name of the matrix. Let's say we are targeting our matrix underscore example. Now we have to put a square bracket and give direction here which element we are targeting. So first we have to write down the row name, and after that we have to write down the column name. Let's say we are targeting second row and second column here. So let's say we would like to modify our element which is in the second row and in the second column. After that we have to write a number which is going to replace the current number. So if we see the matrix here, then we are basically targeting our number 5, because this is the second row and this is the second column and this is our element which is number 5. So basically we are targeting number 5. So let's write down number 10 here. We are going to replace number 5 with the number 10. Now use control enter here. Now let's print the matrix example. Let's see whether we got the result correctly or not here. Print matrix underscore example here. See, in the console panel we can easily see that 5 is now replaced with 10 here. Now let's target the number 3, which is our third row and first column. Let's try it out. Write down the name of the matrix here. Now use the square bracket. We are targeting our third row and first column here, and we would like to replace this with number 15. Press Ctrl Enter. Now print matrix underscore example. See, we have successfully replaced number 3 with number 15 here. I hope the things are now clear about how to modify any element in a matrix. Now let's understand few mathematical operations here on matrices. Let's create some matrix here. Let's create one matrix by the name of matrix underscore 1 with a matrix function here. Let's take 1:4. Here we are taking only 4 elements, that is 1 2 3 4, and let's write down the number of rows here. N row is equal to 2 and n col is equal to 2 here, right? Now press Ctrl Enter. Now we have just created a matrix underscore 1. Now let's create another matrix, matrix underscore 2, where we can use 5 6 7 8. Let's use another n row equals to 2 and n col equals to 2 as well. Another matrix we are having 2 by 2, because on mathematical operation when we are doing, we have to use the same order of the two matrices. That means if we are using addition comma subtraction comma multiplication of matrix, then the order of the matrix should be same. So here we are using a 2 by 2 matrix. Let's write it down here. We are using 2 by 2 matrix here. Now what we are doing, basically we are trying to add these matrices first. That means we are finding the sum of these two matrices. For this, let's say we are writing result is matrix underscore 1 plus matrix underscore 2 here. Now press Ctrl Enter here. Now we have to print the result. See, we are getting the result here in the console panel: 6, 10, 8 and 12. That means we are having two matrices by the name of 1, 2. Let's write it down here. Matrix underscore 1. This is our first matrix. Matrix underscore 2. This is our second matrix. So we can see that it is adding the two matrices here. That means it is going to add the respective elements of the matrices. It is adding 1 plus 5, which is 6, and 3 plus 7, which is 10, and 8 plus 2, sorry, it is adding 2 plus 6, which is 8, and 4 plus 8, which is 12. Now let's understand the matrix multiplication here. Let's write down multiplication. We are multiplying matrix 1. Here we are using percentage operator, and between them you have to use a star. This is very important. After that you have to write the matrix 2 here. Now let's use Ctrl plus Enter here. Now print multiplication. See, it is multiplying the respective elements and it is giving the result as per the matrices rule here. So if you are not aware about the multiplication, how matrices multiplication is done, let's understand it on our smart board. Let's try to understand the matrix multiplication here. Let's take a simple example of 2 by 2 matrix here. Let's say we have a matrix 1, 2, 3, 4 and B is another matrix with 2, 0, 1, 4. Okay, we have two matrices and the order of this matrix is 2 by 2 because this matrix is having 2 rows and 2 columns and this matrix is also having 2 rows and 2 columns. So let's find A into B here. So what we are going to do here is first row and first column multiplication will give you this element. So this element is basically A11. Similarly, this element will be formed when you are going to multiply the first row with the second column. So first row into second column will give you this element which is 1, 2. Now we have to find this element here. This element you will get by multiplying second row and first column. That means second row into first column. Here you will be getting 2, 1. And this element you are going to get after multiplying second row with second column. That means second row and second column. Here you are going to get A22. So let's do the multiplication here. First row and first column, 1 into 2 is 2 plus 2 into 1 is 2. Now first row and second column, 1 into 0 plus 2 into 4, 2 into 4. Similarly, 3 into 2, 3 into 2 plus 4 into 1. Now 3 into 0, 3 into 0 plus 4 into 4, 4 into 4. So the result will be 2 to the 4, and here you will be getting 8, 3 to 6 plus 4 is 10, and 0 plus 16. So you are getting 16 here. So this is the concept of matrix multiplication, which will be useful for you while doing matrix multiplication in R programming to check the result. Now let's move forward towards our R studio. We can also use row sum here. With the help of the row sum function, we can add the sum of all rows in any matrix. Let's take an example. Row underscore sum, on which matrix we are trying to apply it. Row sums, row sums. Now we have to write the name of the matrix here. Let us say we are trying to apply it on matrix 1 here. Now print row underscore sum here. See, we are adding the two rows here. That means if we are having our matrix here, let us say we are having the matrix 1. Matrix 1, we have two rows, which is 1 3 and 2 4. Here what it is doing, basically it is adding the rows here. That means it is adding the first row, which is 1 plus 3 is 4, and second row, which is 2 plus 4 is 6. Similar way we can add the columns here also. Let's write it down. Call underscore sum, call sum with the function call sums. Let's try it on matrix underscore 1 here. Now print call underscore sum here. See, the result here is 3, 7. Let's see what elements we were having in our matrix 1 again. So we were having 1 3 2 4. Now it is adding the respective columns here. So we can see that 1 plus 2 is 3 and 3 plus 4 is 7. So it is giving the result here. Now let's understand how to transpose a matrix. If you are not able to recall the concept of the matrix transpose, let's understand it on our smart board. Now let's understand the transpose of a matrix. In a transpose of a matrix, let's assume a matrix which is a 2 by 2 again. So what it is going to do, let's take some other example here. Let's make it something different. 1 3 4 9. Okay, so this is a matrix basically 2 by 2. So when you do a transpose, that means A transpose, it is going to convert the rows to columns and columns to rows here. So that means the result of a transpose will be this row will become column. That means it is going to give you 1 3 here, and this row will become column again 4 and 9. So your result will be like this. So transpose is basically the conversion of the rows into column and column into rows. Now let's move towards our R studio to understand it in R programming. Now let's try to understand this with an example here, how to transpose a matrix. Let's write down transpose. With the help of T only, we can easily transpose the given matrix. Let's take the example with matrix underscore 1 only and press enter. Now print transpose. See, here it has changed. First row is 1 2 and now it is 3 4. That means it has converted the rows into column and column into rows. This is a very simple example and also very helpful while you are transposing any matrix and doing addition and sum here. Now let's understand the concept of matrix with a real life example here. We have a problem like we have to create a store sales data for 3 products A, B and C across 4 months, and we have to calculate the total sales for each product and month. Now let's create a matrix first with the name of the sale. Let's create a matrix first, matrix, with the help of vector here. What we are going to do now, we are having basically 3 products and 4 months. That means 4 into 3, 12. We should have 12 elements here. So let's write it down. Here we are having our matrix ready. Now we have to define the number of rows and number of columns here. So let's write down n row equals to, we have to write our products row wise, so we have to give 3 rows and number of column should be 4 here. Press Ctrl Enter here. Let's check our matrix here. So here we can see that we are having a matrix with 3 rows and 4 columns here. Now let's give the name of these rows and columns. For rows we should give our product name, and for columns we should give our month's name. So let's write it down. Row names sale is, we have to write our product name. Let us say product underscore A, product underscore B, product underscore C here. Press Ctrl Enter here. Now similarly we can give call names as well. We have to write our month name here, Jan, Feb, March, April. We have given the name to rows as product A, product B, product C, and column name as the month. Now we have already created a data as per the given question, which is showing, we have to show sales data for 3 products for 4 months. Now what we have to do is basically we have to calculate the total sales for each product and month. Now let's print our sale matrix here. See, it is showing that product name is in the rows and month name is in the column. So what question is asking, basically we have to calculate the total sales for each product and month. Now let's do the sum of all the rows. Let us say total sale is row sum of what? We are adding the rows of sales here. Press Ctrl Enter here. Now let's check this out in the console panel here. Total underscore sale. Now press Enter here. See, we are getting a product A, product B, and product C total sales here. That means it is adding the first row for product A, 150 plus 120. Let's add it out. 150 plus 120 plus 170 plus 200. So 640 is the correct answer here. So I'm going to provide you few exercise in the comment section. You can do it as a practice so that it will enhance your R programming skills. In our next video, we are going to dive deeper into different sections of this R programming tutorial. I hope you must have enjoyed this video. So please like, share and comment below. We will meet in our next video. Till then, goodbye and God bless you always.